What's good, everybody? This is King Ju here, introducing you guys to the first official episode of King Ju Talks. Today, I'm gonna touch on a little bit of basketball-related topics. Um, I'm gonna dive into what's going on today, and today I want to talk about something that we've all pretty much talked about at least once in our lives. Who, in fact, is the GOAT of basketball? I tell this all this time. So sit back, grab a snack, and let's chat. Now I'm gonna start with what's going on in NBA today. As y'all know, we have OKC, Minnesota in the Western Conference Finals. On the Eastern Conference side, we have Indiana and New York, the New York Knicks. Indiana's up 2-0 right now. OKC is up 2-0 right now. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting that. I thought it would have been probably tied up, to be honest. I mean, true, but hey, stranger things have happened. I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on that. But now I want to dive into the topic at hand. Who is the GOAT of basketball? Now, the general consensus typically goes with one of three, either LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Okay, we understand that. Some people may have their own people. Like some people may say Steph Curry, some may say Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There's different names that are tossed around here and there. But the general consensus, like I said, is typically LeBron, MJ, Kobe. So when we look at these three guys throughout their careers, and I'm gonna go into this from a casual side. So all you, I know everybody has their own different takes on it. Some people may look at analytics and different things like that, but I'm gonna just kind of scratch the surface on what I think about that. Uh, so when let's start with him. Just to dive into his biggest accomplishments. Obviously six rings, six Finals MVPs, undefeated in the finals. He two three-peats, one of which, I mean, he had one three-peat, retired for a year to play baseball, came back, and then had another three-peat. I mean, hey, that's impressive. That's damn impressive, in my opinion. I mean, nobody can ever take that away. You know, he has his own brand, Jordan brand, his own logo. You know what I'm saying? Just he he has a very strong case for good, and I you can't take any of that away from him. You really can't. And I can see whoever thinks he's a GOAT. I can definitely see your point. Um, Now just to scratch the surface, let's switch over to Kobe for a minute. Five rings. I mean, he's had a scoring champion a few times. He's had a great career as well. Mamba mentality. He's always had that attitude, that do or die attitude that very few NBA players, at least to me personally, very few NBA players have had that same mentality that Kobe has. Some may come close. I mean, you can't lie about that. Some may come close, but Kobe was definitely one of one. I mean, he had his bag ran so deep that honestly, shit, it may have surprised him at times. So, with that being said, just to scratch the surface for him, you have MJ's accomplishments, you have Kobe's accomplishments. Now moving on over to LeBron James. Um, so let's see, LeBron James, he has four rings, uh, won the championship with three different teams. That's impressive in itself. I mean, shit, he's the all-time scoring leader as we speak. He's still playing, even though they're not in the playoffs. I mean, he's still playing. He's 40 years old and still playing at a very high level. Regardless of how you may look at it, he's still playing at a very high level. I mean, shit, like I said, 40 years old. Both Kobe and MJ were retired by the time they were 40. LeBron James is still playing, and he hasn't announced. We don't know when he'll retire, but it's not going to be next year. He's coming back next year, so that's even more he can add on to his resume. Now, diving into championships, he has one. No, I'm sorry. He has two with the Heat, one with the Cavs, one with the Lakers. Three different teams, three different situations. Now, I mean, let's just be honest right now. That is impressive. Like, yeah, winning the championship in itself is a big deal, but to do it with three different teams, like you know, and I know a lot of people say that, oh, he the coach or the GM and things like that, but it's like you can make jokes about that, but in this day and age where players have a lot more power than they used to, I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you surround yourself with the team that you want? I mean, regardless, somebody can look at you and the villain in your own story, so you might as well do what you have to do to make sure that you can succeed. And I mean, that's simple as that. So, with that being said, now I also look at. I'm not going to touch on this too much, but let's also look at their culture outside of us. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know the ins and outs of everything they do outside of the NBA. But with the little that I do know, it seems like LeBron and Kobe, they were more equipped to work outside of the NBA. I mean, Kobe, he had businesses as well, and not to say MJ doesn't. And again, I'm not taking anything away from him. LeBron had a school. I forgot what it's called, but he had a school for you know troubled kids. Uh, Kobe, he had I forgot exactly what Kobe had, but I know he had his own business as well, and MJ had his own business. But again, I'm not gonna dwell on that too much because that doesn't really relate to skill. Um, so let's look at their play styles now. MJ and Kobe had a very similar play style for the most part. I would say that for the most part. MJ's career, he was always looked at as you can say a slasher, you could say uh, three level scorer, you can say that. I mean, you can say he's been uh let's see, how can he what do you guys think? Like has he had I know like I said, he's been a slasher, I mean, was he a really good passer? Let's be honest about that. Was he really that good of a passer? I mean, yeah, he could find the open man, but uh, I don't know. I really don't know. Kobe, kind of the same boat. I mean, he could pass too. He can slash. He can defend. Both of them are good defenders. But Kobe was definitely a better shooter, much better shooter. You have a bit of an echo. Oh, sorry about that. Let me see. If you guys hear an echo, just let me know. Let me see if I can try to fix that. Does that sound a little better? If it doesn't, let me know. Uh, let me see. Okay. Anyway, if the echo's still there, just let me know, and I'll see if I can edit it while I'm doing this. But in any case, back to the play styles. Now, like I said, Kobe, LeBron. I'm sorry, not Kobe and LeBron. Kobe and Michael Jordan. It's like you're in a stadium. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Let me try to change the mic then. Let's see. Let's try to do this instead. You can mute by recording, but you can't switch mics. Of course. Okay. I'm gonna pause this real quick, and you know what? Let me see something. Real quick. Let me see this. Oh, that might be it right there. Okay. What about that? How does that sound? I think that might be a little better. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Good. Good. All right. So back to what I was saying. Uh, lost my train of thought. Well, I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna start over a little bit more because I know my echo was bad. So let me backtrack a little bit so you guys can hear me better. So what I was saying was Kobe and MJ had similar play styles in my opinion. LeBron, you can say his was similar too, but he had some things that he could do that I don't feel Kobe and MJ could do. And R.I.P. Kobe, of course. But like I said, I'm gonna go back to Kobe and MJ's play styles. Those they're very similar, especially when Kobe was in his early years. Like you didn't really see him shooting too much. I mean, he shot the ball. Obviously, they all shot the ball, mid range, 3 pointers, whatever the case may be. But as Kobe got older, and obviously his body took a toll on him. The injuries pile up. You know what I'm saying? He had to kind of change his play style up a little bit. And I hope I'm making sense to everybody. If I'm not, feel free to let's interact in the chat as well. Say what y'all have to say. Um, he had to change his play style up a little bit. He had to learn how to shoot better. But like I said, Kobe's bag was very, very deep. Like I'll never forget. I forgot exactly what game that was when I think he tore his rotator cuff in his right. Yeah, he tore his rotator cuff in his right shoulder, his shooting arm, and he actually came back in the game and started just maneuvering with the left arm. I'm like, what the fuck? Who does that? You know, that's that's goes back to that mentality that I was saying. Like a lot of people, I have yet to really find anybody that has the same mentality that Kobe had. Like I said, some players may come close. Some players may think they have that mentality, but nobody. Like the Mamba mentality is for Kobe Bryant only. So, with that being said, anybody that felt like he was the GOAT, he has a very strong case for it. And like I said, this is a tale as old as time, and it will continue to be a tale until the end of time, or until somebody comes through and washes them all out the water, which I don't think is going to happen. Honestly, I don't see it happening. I mean, I'm gonna just stray away from for just a tad bit and talk about some other players that when all said and done, might have a case for GOAT. And that's a very big ass might. Let's start with Steph Curry. Ugh. Anyway, let's start with Steph Curry. 4 rings, same team. Greatest shooter of all time. Without a doubt. Greatest shooter to have ever lived. At first, I really thought it was Ray Allen, but after he broke his record and it still continued to pile up, three after three after three, I mean, you can't really deny you can't deny that. Like has honestly one of the quickest forms, one of the prettiest forms in my opinion, and he can shoot from pretty much anywhere. So anybody who thinks Curry might be the GOAT, I can see your point, which I don't think he is. I think when it's all said and done, he is without a doubt a Hall of Famer, but I just don't see him coming that close to the three aforementioned, even though him and LeBron have the same amount of rings. LeBron's play style and what he can do on the court is he has way more. He has a much deeper bag than Steph Curry does, in my opinion. Not to take anything away from him, because like I said, greatest shooter of all time. He has court vision. I get that, but there are some people that they look at his play style and they're like, "Oh, he dances around screens all day," which is true. I mean, it kind of is true. You have times where he is the predominant ball handler, but a lot of times, especially when let's look at 2015, 2016, like especially around that time before they got Kevin Durant, he kind of was doing it. I mean, I was happy for him when he won. I was, but in my personal opinion, I look at Curry as more of a shooting guard. And this may sound controversial. I already know you Curry fans. I respect y'all, but let's just be honest for a second. Like he is to me a glorified shooting guard. He can shoot lights out, but what more else can he do? I mean, he can drive. He definitely has an offensive bag. I will give him that. But as far as defending, he's not even close to the level of defending that LeBron, MJ, and Kobe were. And I mean, if you guys ever heard that saying, defense wins championships, offense sells tickets. Yeah, you can shoot. You can score as much as you want. But if the other team is scoring, you're just going to be going back and forth. And somebody's got to miss regardless. Somebody's got to miss eventually. So, I mean, that's pretty much how I feel on that. Now, I've gotten some other people that have felt like Bill Russell is also one of the GOATs. And I mean, shit, 11 rings, that's the most in NBA history by a mile. But I will say this, as far as the era that Bill Russell played in, I mean, like I said, 11 rings, that's impressive in itself. But when you're playing in an era that you only had 12 teams at the time, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but we only had 12 teams playing at the time. There was no 3-point line. There was no shot clock. And I believe Bill Russell was probably the tallest person playing at the time. I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely research that, and you guys can fact check me in the comments as well, or in the chat. If if I'm missing anything, definitely let me know. But in that particular era that he played in, it, I mean, you really didn't have any competition. So it was kind of like it was Bill Russell, and then everybody else was like down here. So there's that. But like I said, and my point still stands with anybody else. If you consider him the GOAT, he has a strong card. He also has a case for being the greatest of all time. Now some people say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I can see that too. He had, I don't know too much about his stats, but I know he's also a champion. I mean, he had one of the greatest hooks of all time. Nobody could stop it. He had the height. I mean, he pretty much had everything he needed too. But like I said, I don't know too much about him personally. I'll do more research on that as well. But yeah, so that's those three: Steph, Bill, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, I don't think anybody said Shaq before, but he can have him. He definitely has a case for the best center of all time, but the best player, I don't think he's at that level, honestly. Um, can't really think of Magic Johnson. I mean, you can make a case for him, greatest point guard of all time for sure. I don't think he's at that level either. And you have guys like, let's see, maybe Chris Paul, and I know that's controversial as well. I also feel like Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards of all time, but the greatest player, I don't really think so. Even though he is one of my favorite point guards of all time, him and Derrick Rose. But we're not going to talk about D Rose right now because we're going to leave that alone. Uh, yeah, I mean that's pretty much that. It really just depends on what is your take on it. Everybody has their own different opinions on why they feel like XYZ or ABC might be the GOAT. But in closing, now I'm not gonna make the episode too long. In closing, I'm gonna tell you guys who I think is the greatest of all time, and I'm gonna tell you why I think he's the greatest of all time. So with that being said, my personal opinion, I think LeBron James is the GOAT. And I'm gonna tell you guys why. Going back to his play style, I'm gonna start with that. If you guys remember earlier, I did say that Kobe and MJ had similar play styles, whereas they were, mid-range scorers, slashers. Well, in Kobe's early years, mid-range scorers, slashers, defenders. Three very, very important skills to have. In Kobe's later years, he became a very, very effective shooter, along with still being able to drive, still being like lockdown defender, and still having that mentality, still having that championship mentality, because it's not just physicals to me. Sometimes it's mental as well. If you don't have the mentality to be a winner, you're not going to be a winner. That's just, it is what it is. Same with MJ. He had that mentality, like, I'm better than you. I'm gonna show you why I'm better than you. And you're not gonna be able to say shit after I show you why I'm better than you. And you can talk, but if I find out that you're talking shit, I'm gonna make it even that much worse for you. You're not gonna be able to stop me. And that I can respect that because again, it's mental. Sports sometimes I know in football they say it's 10% physical, 90% mental. You can say the same for basketball. It's 90% mental, 10% physical. But going over to LeBron, I feel like not only can LeBron still drive when he wants to, obviously his father time is catching up with him, so he's not as effective. He can still shoot, which I don't understand why people think LeBron cannot shoot. LeBron can definitely shoot. He's not Steph Curry when it comes to shooting, but he can shoot if he wants to. He's still a high value defender. Like I said, Father Time is definitely catching up with him, and I understand that. But even in like throughout his whole career, he's been a solid defender, lockdown defender. But this is what separates LeBron James from the other two to me. He is an excellent passer. His IQ and his court vision, he can see a lot of things that I honestly feel like Kobe and my MJ could not see. He's a very good passer. He can run the point guard very, very effectively. He could get his teammates involved. He could drive when he wanted to. He could shoot when he wanted to. That's three things right there. If I didn't say he could defend, he can defend. And he has the IQ. I mean, to me, that just says he's the greatest of all time to me. And when it's all said and done, he's obviously going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, nobody can take that away from him. And if I'm not mistaken, I think no, he doesn't. I'm sorry. Chris Paul is the active stills leader, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can correct me on that if I'm wrong as well. But like I said, everything that I mentioned before, and not only that, guys, he is the all-time scoring leader and is still an active NBA player. The last record holder for that was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who has been retired for who know I don't even know how long he's been retired for, but like guys, come on now. Like you can't really make a much better argument than that, in my opinion. But as I'm gonna keep stressing, that's my opinion. It's just me. Anybody else who might feel different, hey, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. Who do you guys think is the best great basketball player of all time? Who do you think it is? Why do you think it is? You know, that's why I like to have these conversations. And let's see what we got in the chat. Definitely agree. Okay. Oh, that's good then. All right. So I'm glad you guys can hear me better. Still getting the hang of this as well. So just different things. I'm gonna tweak different things here and there to where it makes more sense and you guys can hear me better and see me better. Uh, but you know what, guys? Like I said, that's where I stand with that, and it may change. Throughout the years. Like I said, you have guys that's Steph Curry still has the same amount of rings that he does, but personally, I would never look at him as the GOAT, in my opinion, because he doesn't play defense at all. He just doesn't. I mean, you might have some defense here and there, but you can't be an effective basketball player if you don't play defense. And that's just where I'm at with that. It's not hard to understand why you feel that way. Yeah, and I get that, and I appreciate that comment because even like I said, I respect everybody's opinion, and everybody has their own. They're gonna feel their own way. But I mean, hell, if we ever had the opportunity to see these three guys play in their primes, like, bruh, just imagine a game of 21 with LeBron. Like, let's say, fuck, shit, you could say either 2011, 2012 LeBron, or shit, anytime throughout the Heat. Shit, you can even see 2018 LeBron. That was one of the best LeBrons of all time, honestly. shit, you could say 2006 Kobe, or yeah, when he was supposed to win the MVP, but Steve Nash ended up winning it. You could say 2006 Kobe. Shit, you could say fucking 1998 MJ, 99 MJ, or even 97 MJ. You could say, honestly, man, just imagine, bro. That shit would feed generations. But alas, it'll just be, this conversation will continue to be had. It'll continue to live on in infamy. It'll just be, there'll never be a clear cut greatest of all time. That's why we have these conversations. And it's enjoyable to have conversations like this because you get to see other people's viewpoints of who they feel is the greatest of all time and why they feel that way. And I'm always open to listen to anybody else's opinion, honestly, because shit, I might learn something from you that I didn't know. And I always appreciate having debates like this because it promotes healthy communication, healthy conversation. Shit, you learn things about other people. You might meet new people who might feel differently, and that's something I can always respect, and I always enjoy it. But guys, let's see, we've been on live for about 26 minutes. I don't want to be too long today. I'm gonna keep this episode pretty short. I'm almost at the time limit right now. But guys, I appreciate you all for tuning in. This video will be on YouTube soon once I, edit it, do whatever I need to do with it. But that's it. Next episode will be coming soon. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all the support. And like and subscribe to my Twitch, my Instagram, and my YouTube. All of it at King Jew Talks. And again, I'll say that again. Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. All of those handles are the same at King Jew Talks. That's KingJuTalks. All in lowercase. But guys, that's it for the day. I appreciate you all. And everybody have a good one. Peace.